Fly. You had it right, Kyle. Kyle was, well, he was a little bit debating between S4 and Fly, but he did say, for some reason, I think it was Fly. And it is Fly. He has the most number of professional games played.
It is impressive, even when you consider they switched from Han late. So they didn't start until like TI3, TI4 era. But they just played so many damn games. And it also makes sense because of one of my favorite Fly quotes, while you sleep, your enemy trains. Yep. And of course, he's the man who's got the most Dota in all history.
Yeah, he had to go through a lot of qualifiers where a lot of, for example, Kuroki got invited every time. And with Fly going through qualifiers, he racked out those games real hard. Let's take a look at the draft, though. Team Secret here against Team Liquid. Team Secret, we talked a lot about what Liquid did right previous game. I still also think that Team Secret did a lot right as well, because they were, for all intents and purposes, they were winning the game, basically, right?
They were for sure. One of the things that I criticized Liquid for when we were watching backstage was because both your Void Spirit and your Enigma are having bad games, there's no playmaking happening. And it has to come down to these like ridiculous clutch moments where you need to basically play perfectly or lose. And fortunately for them, they played perfectly like 3 fights in a row.
Yeah.
It's the same story we've been talking about.
Hard conditions. It's really hard conditions to win consistently if you have to play like that.
Yeah. However, it's impressive that they are. Like, Secret is not playing poorly. I think that's the thing to take away. I know they've lost a couple of games. They've looked weaker than usual, but they're just playing against what feels like better competition. I don't know what it is about ESL Germany, but these guys have showed up from all stages.
I do want to point out that one of the things that was normally mentioned when we saw Team Secret in their dominating streak was the first 10 minutes of the game. You feel like you're doing the same as Team Secret, but you're getting so much less gold out of the map. And I felt like in this particular game, Team Liquid was able to keep up with that. So even though, the kills were, and I guess they were a little bit in favor of Team Liquid, Secret only had 1k favor in terms of gold over Team Liquid, and normally that's where they get ahead, and they didn't.
I think the Liquid stack the most out of any team in Dota.
True. That is true.
In addition, you have the Enigma, so there's always going to be a little more farm potential once he moves over to the jungle. But I think the Liquid, they're just doing a great job utilizing the woods, and they're going to first pick Oracle. I'm a big fan. I think that they've looked the best, or at least Insani has looked the best when he's on this hero. The Coddle's kind of fallen out of favor in the meta, and I just don't think there's anything else you can put him on to have more game impact.
By the way, Lone Druid is still in the pool. I just want to point that out in terms of the bans. It is the IO. And Team Secret actually banned out Boxy's Void Spirit. And Liquid stays with the same bans with the Drow and the Magnus.
Interesting.
So Lone Druid still in the pool. But both of these teams like Lone Druid. But is it first phase pick material?
If it wasn't, I don't think the teams will be banning it first phase against Secret and Liquid, right? If they aren't going to first phase it, then why do you need to ban it that early? I mean, sometimes it's value bans, basically, where you ban something so you don't have to use a ban on it later, if there's nothing in the first phase that really stands out. But I could easily see Secret grabbing it here.
Yeah.
The matchups are not bad. You're against Spectre, you're against, what was the other hero again? Oracle, right? So there's a disarm on the bear, which is annoying. I think you can largely play around that by having somebody get on top of Oracle in your strategy.
I will say, I like that Liquid they didn't first pick it, which I'm a fan of. I think Secret would have been comfortable playing Lifestealer into the Lone Druid, and Puppey, as we've discussed for it feels like a decade, what's he like to do?
Leave everything in.
Find a way to counter it, and Liquid don't play into his hands. I think the Oracle's more value anyway. For the same reason, I was a big fan of how they set up their draft in the previous game, because Oracle sets them up for all of what their cores want to play, whereas Lone Druid, you're locked in. There's very little you can do to deviate from your game plan.
That is true. There's more flexibility here, and I guess from Secret's perspective, maybe they think the Lone Druid matchup against Spectre is weaker than the Lifestealer one is. I would say Oracle is pretty good against both of those heroes, to be honest, in different ways, but maybe they feel like, okay, now we can maybe get Infest heroes, we can get on top of the Oracle that way. We could see the Storm we talked about last game. I think he's looking promising right now. And they ban the Slaughter, which I think you just do that against Liquid if you pick Lifestealer. You just ban the Slaughter. They love picking it into it. It's stable for them. It makes them feel comfortable. Just get rid of it.
Also, the Viper banned out, also something you just do when you have a Spectre, so no real big surprises here. I think
10 seconds remaining.
If you're in an elimination game as Team Secret, you just want to give it your all, right? Team Liquid seems to go with stability here.
Yeah, I think having the late game is nice. I think team fight in late game, just something you need to have, because Secret's macro is just so good. If they don't have a PA in that game, which is not just like an excellent hero moving forwards in the game, but it matches up great against the Lifestealer. So you're not on the clock. And if you're on a clock against Secret, I think you're just going to lose because they'll find a way to stay in the game until that critical fight. You're in trouble. I'm surprised they go back to the Lifestealer. And also, Lena wasn't banned in the first game, right? It was just completely ignored.
So. No.
And they come out with it first too.
I think perhaps there's a little bit of logic here with, or the thought process is again about the win condition in the late game, right? Secret maybe felt like the only reason we lost this last game was, apart from the mistakes that we made and Liquid's brilliant plays, we were a little bit on a timer. You're against Enigma, you're against PA. Insane late game heroes, both of them against what Matsu is playing. So maybe you just pick Lina because it's a scaling hero. Whether it's Yapsor or Nisha playing it, you have this hero that will transition into a powerful late gamer, and just doesn't give too much information away, really.
That's another good point. It wasn't just the PA, it was the Enigma factor. They take it out here.
Yeah. One of the things, by the way, previous game, we talked a little bit about it during the draft, was the push potential coming out from both of the teams, and we thought it was not too much coming out with the DK and the IO. Proved that it actually, at some point, 4 towers were taken on the side of Team Liquid, and Liquid themselves had only taken 1 tower at that point. Something that maybe they want to address in this second game, because they were kind of lacking in that department.
Yeah, we've seen this a few times, the Undying against the Spectre. It's just really difficult to deal with from laning phase, and it's also very annoying to play Oracle. And all these supports that kind of want to play on the outskirts of the fight, you get zombies on you. Not only is your positioning revealed, but now you're slowed. You got to walk and get the ult off. Now you're susceptible to getting jumped. It's a tough spot. This is the critical pick for Liquid in their draft. Probably just go for the Taiga hero here, but you gotta. This is not a very good laning phase already. You're looking at it, you're just like, this. Nothing feels good.
Team Secret's turn to pick.
What needs to happen for a Willow to be good as a Timber Saw gets picked up here?
I don't know if I like this Timber. I feel like it's a little bit early. You don't know what your lane matchup is yet. Like, you can brute force, you can try to guaranteed put it against the Lifestealer in the top lane, but Lifestealer has the possibility to switch lanes. You can play musical chairs until you get what you want. I also don't think Timbersaw is that great in lane against Undying right in the start. Undying is one of these weird heroes where it's like, you are the boss for 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And if you get to be the boss against Timber, he can really suffer under the right conditions. So I think there's a lot of ground to cover here to make sure Timber has a good game, unless you put him mid, but then he can get counterpicked really hard. So a little bit early for my taste here. And also a little bit limited in what they have there.
Yep. To address Shiva's point, the Willow is great when Liquid get to play their aggro offlaner, specifically Mars and Slardar. You just can't do that against Lifestealer Undying. Like, Mars is just going to get eaten alive. Timbersaw, yes, it's difficult, but at a point after that 3-minute clock ends, you're going to be okay. And I'd like to see Liquid pick a 4 position that can abuse creep mechanics, because that's just the answer to the safe lane Undying. You've just got to make it a 1v1 and have him chase you all around. I don't care if you die. If you can waste 2 of those 3 minutes of the Undying just for 1 kill, you're going to be okay with that. Shaker obviously still in the pool, and Rubik, though, is still a possibility, right? There's no ban on that?
There's no ban on Rubik.
The thing I see here, though, is what you're talking about with the creep skipping on the top lane, right? That you try to avoid the Undying. What if Secret just don't put Lifestealer there? Like, what if you put something there that lanes well against Timbersaw and you play Undying Lifestealer into Oracle Spectre? I think you're going to win that lane.
Yes.
Oracle Spectre is really, really weak.
Yes.
There's not much going on there. Secret can do it.
I love this pick. I think it's still a super underrated hero. Ever since I saw Seb playing it with the Veil, I'm like, okay, this is new. This is something we're going to see for the rest of the year. And it's so good. It is the counter to Timbersaw. You Rupture, it's really pure damage, can't do a damn thing. AoE Silence, also pure damage. And it's just such an insane laner, especially in this game. You're just going to run in, and there's really not much you can do to threaten him right now.
We've seen it banned a lot over the last few days, but not picked yet. This is the first pick, at least here in Cologne.
Also, something I like to have in lineups when you have Tombstone is something that makes the enemy team hesitant to go and destroy it, right? You put a Tombstone down, and if the enemy team has heroes that can actually break the Tombstone, you just put a Bloodright literally on top of it. And now it's like, damn it if you do, damn it if you don't. Okay, we're going to break it, but we're going to get silenced, or there's zombies everywhere. So which one are you going to pick? And currently, the way I see it, Liquid aren't really going to break that Tombstone until Spectre's Manta. I just don't see it.
This is such a greedy lineup from Liquid. This is, I like when you're not on a clock, but this is what we criticized them for in the pregame. This is just a bit
Too
too
slow.
much.
5 seconds
Oracle's not a playmaker. None of these 3 cores really are. It's effectively all on Koifa's Storm. And I don't like when Storm is sort of put in a position where you typically see reserved for like Quaps and Pucks, where it's like, okay, this hero is good, but if it dies twice, they lose. And you're in this position as Koifa where you have to play in your flawless game, be the playmaker as well, which is really tough. You got to get really some nice lucky runes. You have to have vision advantage. You need your first 2 or 3 rotation TPs to work. It's a really tough ask in this game.
And usually when you, like, on paper, Storm is good against all of these heroes, right? But when I see Storm being the only initiator, the problem is it's super telegraphed when you go in. Like, you jump, if these heroes have a Yule, there's a Yule on Bloodseeker or on Lina, you can suddenly catch him off guard when he jumps in. And if Oracle isn't in reach to save him, he's going to die 100-0. So I would love for the last pick from Liquid to be able to assist Koifa in setting something up. Something I could see potentially is, like, I'm not saying the hero is good here, but just like the logic of a 4, like Clockwork. Like somebody that gives vision, goes in and starts you off. I'm not saying it's a good pick here, but just that thought process of, okay, we will get Koifa conditions to jump on somebody as a secondary initiate, rather than, hey, Koifa, good luck, go start us a fight.
I just don't know what hero that is. Like the problem is a lot of the heroes you would think of are unplayable into the enemy lineup. Clockwork into Life Stealer Undying is miserable.
It's challenging. As
is Sand King against Bloodseer. Like you just can't play Dota. You could go for something like a Shaker, but then it's just like, this is the slowest lineup we've seen all tournament. And the lanes of Secret are just so damn strong. We're likely going to see Lina go mid, I would expect, based on the Storm, because no matter what matchup, you're going to be heavily favored. It's just, it looks really good for Secret right now. And to your point, I have no idea what Liquid could pick as a playmaker that also has good matchups that could also potentially address the Lifestealer Rage.
That is a hero that Taiga plays as well.
Yeah.
He's the one that we are looking for a hero for, most likely on the side of Team Liquid. We have another OD ban, by the way. Second time we see him banned. That means that Team Liquid is expecting a mid still to be picked up by Team Secret, so they are expecting the Lina to be supported.
I think you just give that to Nisha, but we'll see. I think after watching Borania play Lina, it just reminded me of the days of old when Sumail used to just go for this cheeky Bloodstone build, start slaughtering everybody. Lina just feels so good right now. Awesome talents, really fast to move around map, very easy for her to stay on map.
Lina Core is, however, one of those heroes that can die to a Storm Jump plus Haunt. So if she is the target and nobody else is around to save, then maybe it could work with a... like, you could counter a core Lina in that way. So
it's a Shaker, by the way.
We'll get the Shaker.
That will be our last.
I don't know.
Guys, don't seem convinced.
It's just like
5 seconds remaining.
So when you look at this Liquid lineup, you see what they want and you see what the heroes do and how they work together. To me, this is just not the patch for this kind of.
No.
And I'm gonna look like an idiot if they end up winning this game now. But I feel like you're giving the enemy team so much initiative in the game.
Yeah.
And you're reliant fully on counterplays, which last game they did an amazing job counterplaying. So I'm not gonna say they can't do it. They can. But again, what I was saying after this previous game is that if you're setting yourselves up so you need to play that insanely well to win your games, you're not going to consistently win more than half.
Yeah, I love the Ember pick too. This is insane synergy with the Bloodseeker and the Lifestealer. You've got now kill potential for Yapzor in effectively every lane. And it's an answer to the Storm. You have catch now. You're going to go straight for Insania, straight for Koifa. I think Secret have won this draft like 90-10. And I agree with pretty much everything Sind is saying. So if we agree, you know something is a little off.
Yeah, and I also think, though, that I think both of you agreed that Team Secret had the better draft previous game.
No, we didn't.
You're right. Never mind.
We liked Liquid, but that was not the way they won was not the reason. That's not why I liked it, but they did win.
All right, well, let's see if they can beat the odds here, as the panel thinks that Team Secret has the better draft, but we're going to find out how it's going to play out with OD Pixel and Fogged.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Game 2 now of Secret versus Liquid. Fogged, what's standing out to you the most from these two drafts that we have here?
Liquid raised the greed. I thought last draft was greedy. This one's looking, I mean, very tough to play. I feel like they're going to be on the back foot for the majority of this game. I think Koikfa is going to be the big star to look at, and Taiga, I think they're going to have to make some wonders really happen on this Earthshaker and Storm.
Well, it's going to be very exciting to see. I mean, it is heroes that they have been known to make wonders happen upon, right? The Koikfa Stormers and there's the Tiger Shaker. Definitely heroes that we've seen these two pop off on before, and some solid backup around them. I mean, early on, where do you think it is that the strengths are going to lie the most for Secret that you feel that Liquid will struggle with?
I just feel like they overall have just a really good synergizing draft that works together, and it's not greedy at all. These lanes, they're safe across the board here. Like this Lina, if he's going to be paired with the Bloodseeker, it's a strong lane that we've seen tested a couple times before. Lifesteal Undying, very strong versus what they're going to be up against, which should be what that Earthshaker and that Timbersaw. Timbersaw is going to get away with stuff, but you're going to be able to secure the farm of the Lifestealer or that Bloodseeker, depending on which matchup, with the Undying there. So I just feel like they've ticked all the boxes. Liquid, they do have that good mid lane that can go for them for Koikfa, but yeah, I feel like it's going to be really hard as soon as that mid game kicks off. How do they actually team fight? How do they fight versus the pressure of Secret, who doesn't really rely on cooldowns? And Liquid, they heavily rely on those cooldowns.
We'll see it. Oh, Puppey. She's not going to get blocked in here by Tiger. Tiger locks him out, and bounty runes are going to go 3 to Secret, just the 1 to Liquid to start this off.
Okay, and they're actually going to look to, I guess Secret's going to try to dodge the lanes here, and they're going to put the Bloodseeker versus that Timbersaw, so that Lifestealer has a better matchup, and he can actually free farm in his lane and also try to pressure the Spectre, just avoid the Timber.
Yeah, I mean, so obviously keeping matters safer by taking him top. Down bottom, how does Zai do against the Timber? Is Boxy still going to have a bit of an upper hand against him, or should Zai be fine?
He'll have a little bit more of an upper hand, but they can actually punish Boxy, I feel, pretty decently in the first 2 levels. As soon as they hit level 2 on Puppey, they can actually kill him. The magic damage that comes out from Undying with the combo of Bloodseeker, it's enough to just kill a Timbersaw. So I feel like Zai, he should actually be able to get some decent stuff down here. And he's not a strength hero, so that annoying Whirling Death won't affect him nearly as much.
We'll see what Boxy and Tiger are able to achieve. And is this a lane where Tiger is going to stick around for the first few levels, then he's going to leave Boxy to himself?
I would imagine so. He might just stick around for some more creep manipulation, but yeah, I think he's just going to end up ditching Boxy pretty early on. And he can look to make plays around mid when Koikfa hits level 4, probably around that 5-minute, maybe a little bit before that 4-minute mark, that is. If they get a level and pull, an Earthshaker rotation, they could definitely look to punish Nisha if he plays too aggressively. Because Koikfa's going to have that good matchup no matter what. Bottom. So we're talking about Boxy getting low, the decays building up, and then the blood right damage. But once levels, as we said, levels are going to kick in for Boxy, he's going to be able to sustain down here. The standard kind of Timbersaw thing. First few levels can be a bit of a scare.
And we'll see. On the top lane, Mickey. Again, doing what we saw he did the other day, stacking up on the mangoes when he comes into the lane.
Yeah, it's definitely it's an interesting approach rather than having, because we've been seeing a lot of times the double rings of regen. At least I've been seeing that. Double ring of regen, you get your tangos, and then they don't build anything really into it. They just end up getting rid of them. These he uses his mangoes, so hey.
Overall, though, looking at the Spectre, would you not sort of consider it a game that, if Liquid are able to sort of hold it on and make space for Mickey like they did last game, that the Spectre won't get to a point where Secret's heroes are going to struggle to burst through it?
It can get to that point. Mid, they're actually battling. It can get to that point, but I feel like Mickey this game, he's versus more of these counters, where I feel like PA in the last game, he's playing versus Rubik and Io, so he's just always going to be super good, and he's versus the Lifestealer, so he kind of counters that one. Spectre feels a little bit harder because he's playing into like Undying. Tombstone goes down, and it breaks a lot of the damage that Spectre can do in fights because it does not allow you to use your Desolate.
And then over towards Koikfa, I mean, the sort of overall outlook of the game for a Storm, it seems pretty good, right? There's not too much to catch Koikfa.
Yeah, that's why I think Secret just did end up picking this last pick, Ember Spirit mid. Even though the lane isn't so good, it gives them catch, which they were just lacking severely for Koikfa. We're seeing Taiga doing what we were mentioning, hanging around that mid lane when Koikfa is level 4, when he has that pull level.
I mean, with these bottle charges, Fisher into the combo might do it. And yeah, they're going to try it. It should be enough damage here. Or is it with the stick charges, actually, Nisha? And the quick dodge with the slay. He's going to be able to stay alive. TPs do come in from both Yapso and Puppey, but
that ditches Batu top. Now he's alone up here for a moment.
Normally.
Oh, it's going to be a little harder for him to get in on the creeps here as they're held.
They're actually just hanging 3 heroes in the mid to secure the that 4-minute rune. Just so important for both of these heroes.
They're all going bottom though, Secret. If it's top, Koifa's going to get lucky. And he's not. It's bottom.
It's bottom.
Yeah, Nisha's able to grab it.
Under attack.
Try for the setup on a Koifa mid, but instantly stepping away from the range of that Light Striker Ray. We'll keep him fine.
Puppey just stalking Taiga, just keeping tabs of where he's at. Seeing bottom. I thought Boxy was actually going to start getting more guaranteed farm, but he's actually struggling a bit versus the Bloodseeker. Zai is just really dominating this matchup. 27-4 to 18-2. Boxy definitely missing a couple of those. And still both these heroes just hanging around the mid lane, waiting for a mistake or an opportunity. Can't quite punish Koikfa. They don't have any points in the chains for now. Still gonna have to wait for that till later on. And we will see those bounty moves. Don't know if Puppey can walk in versus Koikfa, but he might be able to challenge the river bounty at least.
Koikfa's going straight for that one.
Yeah, he's pushing him away. Let's see. Puppey's gonna go for it.
Yeah, they're gonna have the Vortex. Pulls him in. Means that Koikfa's able to pick it up, and now with the Fisher block off, they might have to damage to kill Puppey. As Puppey's trying to run. He's got a Sora, but there's no units around, so it does nothing really at all. Koikfa's able to get the kill. First blood for Koikfa.
The perfect hero to get it to, as we said. Koikfa, I feel like you said, he really has to pop off this game, it does seem. And starting with that is going to be nice, and getting Taiga involved as well. And how many of the bounties did they get? They got 3 of the bounties.
Has been killed.
Side will just attack a courier, you know, standard.
Taiga.
Boxy with this Orb of Venom is actually pressuring Zai a bit here. He does hit the 6, the rotation is coming. Can't quite punish Boxy from the aggressive play though. He's still too tanky. And Mickey's getting away with full free farm up top.
Yeah, but I know. I feel like Secret's just got to play it fast. I mean, like this Timber Saw as well. Surely aren't Secret going to struggle to kill Boxy after a certain point? Like, what actually threatens him? Like, the Rupture's something, I guess, but other than that...
I actually like their heroes quite a lot versus the Timber Saw. Okay. They have a lot of magic damage and just good bursts of Undying as well, too, with the Blood Right. They have a lot of different forms that he has to just struggle versus.
Oh, Boxy is able to chain out to the side. He's trying to chase him, yeah, but Boxy... He's going to be fine. Oh, unless that Blood Right connects, but Boxy's able to dodge it. He's keeping himself fine here with the passive, healing him up. Boxy will get away alive, despite Secret's best attempts to take him down.
Didn't have enough heroes down there to set him up, but it does feel like for Boxy, I feel like it can be a pretty hard Timber game. He's versus Ember, Lina, lots of damage, amplification from the Undying at some points too, when he hits 6. Doesn't feel like it's going to be too easy for him. But he is also one of those elusive heroes, so, you know, those disables, they're going to have to be used on either the Storm or the Timber, so maybe Boxy can be that distraction for Koikfa to really get pretty much everything off. If he eats the chains, if he eats the Lina stuns and all that. And that's pretty much his job as this Timber, is eating those spells for his team to get away with.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to sort of have him going on the front. Koikfa's going to be looking for the pickoffs on the spots. I imagine both of their cores, actually, both Koikfa and Mickey in the start of these fights, zipping in, haunting in, just trying to delete the backlines.
Yep.
Invisibility.
Nice stacks, as always. Liquid setting them up for Koikfa. Gotta enable that timing quite a lot here.
I'm going to go straight for the Orchid Rush this game. Brown Boots Orchid on it.
Can be really nice versus the cores of Secret. The Ember and the Lifestealer can get punished pretty hard if Koikfa does get a good time on it, and he is going to get a good time on it. He's getting away with all this farming here. They're showing themselves in the lane. Nisha's going to get this free lane in mid now because of this, but Taiga's sapping the experience at least.
Now we'll see Nisha.
Secret. They're all set up around bottom here for Boxy. If he does step up too far. Nisha's even making the rotation down too. It's spotted though.
he's playing it carefully, Boxy.
And an item that I feel like, you know, it kind of has been disappearing out of the favor after we saw it picked up almost every game for a long time. The Veil for Zai. So a really good item this game also versus Boxy. All that magic damage that they do have going to be enhanced a lot on the side of Secret. And it looks like Koifa's going to look to play around Boxy. Maybe expecting this movement to come down here. As they did see the Ember rotating earlier. Might be able to do some pretty decent counter ganks. These supports only level 4 at the moment.
Zai just behind them deep in the trees.
Nisha's heavily pushing mid though during this downtime from Koifa moving. Koifa's stepping up pretty far here. They can get a blood right into a stun.
Oh, they try, but Koifa able to dodge it. Just going to try and get aggressive onto Puppey here. It's not got quite enough to kill him though. The rest of Liquid bringing in themselves. Boxing Insania charging forward. They've got Puppey. Puppey goes down. Koifa able to step out of the blood right. TP's coming over the horns here. Mickey, he's ready to move over to try and look towards Yapsor. Yapsor, he's falling low. Chakram comes out. They cut him down. A second kill for Liquid. Koifa and Insania still alive, but the sleight of fist finishes Insania off. Nisha throws down the remnant to close the gap onto Koifa, but Koifa has got the control into the Fissure. Nisha's going to go down. Koifa able to use his last bit of mana to dodge the blood right. So Koifa will survive. Liquid get the kills, and they only lose Insania for it.
Koifa played that to literal perfection down bottom. Just how aggressive he's playing because he knows how little stuns that they do have to set up on him. Just such nice moves coming out from him, and all of Liquid collapses in time to actually counter gank Team Secret. Matu, he's going to get the space. He's going to be able to farm and finish that armlet top, but a nice aggressive move from Liquid with the first haunt.
Mickey making sure he doesn't have any opportunity to get active.
Nice Boxy. A little bit of that Ironwood tree play there to claim the bounty away from Matu. I like it. And anything to enable Koifa, like we said in this game. So he gets away with that. He's 2-0-2. He's got the first Oblivion Staff on the way to that second. Should be on the way to that very good Orchid timing to punish those side lanes, punish the Ember, punish the Life Stealer. And we are seeing Nisha. He's not going for a defensive item for himself. He's just rushing the Vessel to deal with that Timber Saw, to deal with the Oracle. Counteract those heals a bit. Might hurt him when Koifa is able to get such a quick timing when he is finishing this Orchid soon.
Yeah, this is a very, very aggressive choice from Nisha. He's going to have to play very careful. As the Spirit Vessel, I guess, you know, obviously does have its strengths, but Liquid with mechanisms to remove it.
Mm-hmm.
With the Dispel, and
we'll make him
imagine Boxy probably going to get the Lotus eventually.
Yeah, it will make him a little bit tankier though. It does give you that HP that I feel like people do sometimes just write off. They just think about the Vessel as a Vessel. Koifa, he's sitting up top waiting for Matu to misuse his Rage.
Very, very close to having that Orchid done on Koifa now. Already having an excellent opening here. 2-0-2 on the Storm.
Boxy immediately, as soon as the catapult starts pushing away, if he parks himself, but Secret, they're in the area, but can actually punish him. Boxy's still a bit too strong. With Insania standing behind him as well, especially. And it's giving time. Giving time for Mickey to finish his Blade Mail that he does have done, and Koifa, that Orchid is 20 gold away.
It's quick. I think, yeah, Liquid's hitting some very good early game timings here.
Is under attack.
I just see sort of a Spectre and a Storm, and I feel like if this doesn't get punished early, this duo is going to be pretty potent later on in the river. Puppey, and at the backup, Box has been ruptured. He'll get himself up to the high ground. Nisha's heading in. I think we've got the damage to take him down. He turns with the Chakram. A little bit of a heal coming out from Insania. Here's the Orchid pickup. The Orchid Koifa turns. He gets the silence. The Fissure out, and the three of them have got the lockdown, but no, he's able to get out with the haste route. Nisha's off to the side. He'll live. So survive for now. They're trying to turn on to Mickey. Again, Liquid backing off.
This Fortune's End's being very problematic. We see Nisha, his Flame Guard gets dispelled instantly in the fight. The Open Wounds gets dispelled instantly as soon as they're starting to go on people. And Insania Oracle always continuing to impress, and they do have eyes on Nisha. Can they punish him though? Instantly dispel the Flame Guard, and then they commit onto him, but he's got a Remnant.
He's prepared. And we see as soon as he sees that Orchid done, queuing up the Yules after the Vessel. It's still going to take a bit of time for him to get those two, so still a good window for Koifa to play aggressive.
Yeah, and we're seeing Liquid, they're preparing, you know, it's all about the greed, it's all about the farm. Look at these stacks again. Every moment that they see, every time it hits that 50-second mark, they're in position to get stacks up. Another triple and double stack.
It is crazy how we really do just see Liquid stack that more than any other team in the competition. I mean, why is it that no other teams stack as much as Liquid? Why is no one else doing this?
It's an old school heroes and newer thing. Like, honestly, that's
a pretty good thing to have, right? To just be, as a team, you just always have stacks being made. When there's absolutely some teams they'll play against and they barely stack at all.
Liquid is always, like, I think if you just look at stats, I'm pretty sure Liquid just has the most stacks by far out of any team. Like, no matter what lineup it is, either as well too. It's like, it doesn't matter if they have a Sven, doesnme matter what they have, they will always have these type of stacks, and they'll always have like decent heroes to clean it.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and Mickey, like, he also has a triple ancient stack. He's got his blade mail. Time to farm ancients as a Spectre too. So I mean, they're getting away with a lot of the greed here in Secret, not really able to punish at all.
Mid rupture onto Boxy again, but Insane is going to TP over in case Boxy needs extra help. A few heals out, Boxy's able to step away.
Yeah, he's just, like, every single time they look to try to threaten this tower, and Boxy, he's just parking himself. He's stopping them from being able to get into the jungle of Liquid to slow down that ancient farming. So far, Liquid playing this early game perfectly.
Secret just not able to kill any of their core so far with these moves that they're making. And
look at bottom. Taiga is invis set up, but there's a sentry ward.
Oh, and the rage. Yeah, Matu has got the damage. Taiga not quite expecting the detections to still be out there.
He was trying to set up for the kill too. They were setting Mickey up bottom, and then they were probably going to have Koik for TP down. But he went to the sentry.
Boxy is a bit of a bait. He's going to start things off. Get Nisha going on to him. Nisha is falling low. He's going to get taken out. Koikfa gets the kill. Another one here for the Storm. As I think we are going to see this. Nisha's got to be careful. That Spirit Vessel first time is going to be punished. The lack of defensive capability, Koikfa's going to be on him every time.
Thinking about Matu.
Shazin. The grab back. They got the damage though. No. Matu's able to turn, pop the rage, and this time Koikfa's a little too deep. But the false promise comes out. Zip it to the side. I mean, it's a lot of damage that's come through with the Laguna Blade. Koikfa surely going to pop. Taiga does get the echo off. Matu's low, but Koikfa falls. They do get Matu in return, and now Mickey with the horn. He's going to try and chase to clean up more. Soul Repeal onto Yapzor. They'll turn for Puppey instead. Puppey goes down. Boxy continues to chase again with the placement of the GG branch. Closes in on Yapzor. Another GG branch sets up for the double. Boxy gets the kill. As Nisha will pick apart Insania on the back of it all.
But Liquid's fine with this. This is a great fight for them. They killed pretty much every single one of the heroes on Secret, right? All 5 heroes do go down, and they keep their Spectre alive during all of it, and Boxy. That's huge for them again here. They do lose the tower, but a very good hold there anyway. Getting themselves so much gold. Like, Taiga almost has Blink Dagger now off of it too.
Yeah. And he's able to stand his ground, pop the echo, and just have that little bit of control and damage needed to get the big kill on Matu, trying to charge straight in.
And we're really seeing some damage issues and just Secret unable to just stick on these targets and kill them. Now Boxy's got mech. He's almost had his Greaves too. This is looking really good for Liquid right now. Secret under the gun.
I'm telling you, I don't know how they kill. I think it's going to be very hard to kill Mickey and Boxy. They're just having too good of a start here. I know it's even on the net worth, but it's a Storm, it's Timber, it's a Spectre. Secret's got to step it up. They got to speed it up if they want to try and shut these heroes down.
Yeah, they got to. They really do. They have to take advantage of the Haunt being down right now. Sai, he's looking up toward top for Taiga, but there's a lot of support from Liquid. Insania right near, and Taiga just TP's out. And now Zai.
Oh, Koik was in with a big zip. He's ready to go. They're going to be able to punish Sai for that one. Another kill for Koikfa. Matu and Nisha, they're coming in. They'll find Insania, but they won't quite find Koikfa. Koikfa doesn't have TP, though, for 20 seconds. See how much of a hunt they bring towards him. They won't, actually. They'll just assume he's out already. So Koikfa's going to be able to get away with this.
And now Taiga, Blink Dagger. So Liquid, they've got all their tools to be able to just straight up fight versus Secret's draft at the moment. Secret not doing everything they needed to in this early game. Looking for Boxy here. He's got Taiga behind. Yep, he's okay, even with that, and that's Flesh Golem popped. You know, these little things, they will start mattering. Secret, it does feel like they're going to need everything to kick in to be able to actually battle versus Liquid in any of these straight up team fights.
Obviously bottom, tier 1's going to be taken.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
Koikfa, I mean, he's feeling how good of a game he's having so far. He's going to go for that Orchid into Bloodstone.
Definitely. I mean, he's playing versus just so little disables. He doesn't have to go for any type of defensive for himself. Just tank up.
Illusion
Yeah, and he knows that if he does ever get himself in risky positions, Insania is going to have his back.
Matu is still hitting some very, very good timings, but the rest, his other two cores are really struggling. And him sticking on this Storm, him sticking on Spectre is going to be hard this game.
Boxy playing around the high ground here. He's just running straight in on them, maybe trying to set something up for Tiger, because Tiger is walking in. They're rather close to one another. Tiger, can he find a solid jump? The Horn is coming out to spot things out. They're able to burst through Nisha. Nisha goes down. Boxy's stepping aside here as Insania keeps him safe. But right, will connect. Nisha buying back to try and keep this fight going. He's going to commit in onto Boxy. Nisha bringing in Matu to the back lines over towards Insania. Allows them to take out the Oracle. Nisha's going to continue to try and push Tiger away, but the rest of Liquid, they get in onto Yap. So Boxy has been false promised. He's still going to live. Oh, no, Tiger! He's in on the four of them! He's in on the four of them. He's able to set up for the dieback on Nisha. He's now on the run, though, because Secret, they'll still clean up. After what was an excellent Echo Slam, and Boxy, he's still finding extra kills on the supports as Puppey falls. I mean, Tiger just throws himself in, and it pays off. I mean, Boxy's able to live, he cleans up, and they kill Nisha after buying back.
Nisha's really having a struggle, and Mike, he survives during all of it. He's got Manta done. He jumped in, jumped away really quickly. Boxy's just, I mean, you were right. I thought that they'd be able to take out Boxy, but he is becoming way too big of a problem. 7-0-5, holding his ground. Greaves finished, and he's on his way toward that Lotus Orb. This is very problematic for Secret. Matu is starting to get to the point where he's on his own to be able to deal with this Storm and this Spectre and this Timber. These three cores just getting to be too much for him.
I mean, they do have burst. It's just that they don't have, I feel like they just don't have 2k damage of burst, you know what I mean? Like, they're going to be able to get Boxy low, but after they burst him, who's going to be hitting? It's very rare situations where the Lifestealer's actually able to get any hits in on Boxy. He's just going to be out of there in a way. And I just don't know if they can deal with Boxy right now. Or Mickey.
Oh, especially... Yeah, and they can't, like, YapzOr's not able to really get many spells off inside of the fights either, because everyone's collapsing on top of him so quickly. The Spectre Hunt, the Storm jumps in, and the Timber jumps in too, and then a Fissure comes through. YapzOr just dies. He's just having a really tough time getting any of his spells to connect as well.
Oh, we'll see this fight again here. And Boxy, again, just being saved. Insania, False Promise comes in, and it's just so much heals with that regen. Tiger, it's a beautiful jump, and it's enough to, again, just keep Liquid coming out slightly on top of these trades and just keeping the game solid for both Mickey and Koifa in particular.
Yeah, and they keep also getting to be the ones who dictate the pace. Haunt was just used on their own accord. They're the ones making the aggressive move. Secret can't take advantage of the downtime at all. Haunt's back up in 10 seconds. How can Secret fight into Haunt? It really feels like they just can't. They have to try to farm some type of items, but as we said, Liquid, they went extremely greedy this game, and they're winning the early game.
They really are. As you say, you know, Matu, his farm is still up there, but both Nisha and Zai, with the way that the fights have been going, are starting to fall behind a little bit.
Yeah, he just can't stick on these targets either. Like a Lifestealer sticking on a Spectre, a Storm, or a Timbersaw, they have these different ways to just disengage from him, and they have so many different ways to play around open wounds at this point. Manta, the Dispel from Fortune's End, just lots of different ways to guard. And
Matu's going to set up on. Instantly, TPs are coming in. They're going to come in with a Horn. They've got the Chainstone. Matu's going to go down, and outside he's TP'd to death as well.
And Puppey. They won by one.
I mean, Liquid, they're starting to make it look pretty easy with these moves. Secret getting broken up, broken down.
They're getting into the Roche pit now.
Structures are fortified.
All right, Secret's Secret's in a whole world of trouble now. Massively far behind into a Storm Spectre lineup at 20 minutes in the game. It's just going to get worse and worse.
There we go. Aegis on Mickey. They couldn't kill him once.
Under attack.
And now they're not going to be. They're going to have to try and kill him twice. I don't know if they've got that in them. Mickey still yet to fall this game.
And Liquid on the hunt again. Nisha.
They've got the setup.
No defensive.
Nisha's in. Lockdown's there. Nisha. He's going to pop. Again. Both Nisha and Zai, their games are crumbling.
And Liquid just, I mean, they're really feeling the momentum. They're popping off. Koifa, he's 9-2-8 in this game, having a flawless performance pretty much. Boxy, 7-0-5. They're really starting to run away with this one here.
I don't know. Yeah,
They're lost.
How do you?
They can't make moves anymore.
How do you stop the Spectre? How do you stop this Timber? It feels impossible. It's just 4K, but Mickey is just so far ahead. He's nearly level 20. Matu's still level 16.
Yeah, it feels like you'd have to commit 5 heroes to even try to kill them, and then you're all just gonna get turned on probably. Especially if Insania shows up with the save, then you maybe don't even kill anybody. Liquid playing very, very good in this first 20 minutes here. And I mean, Spectre, near level 20, getting close to Scotty. I mean, he's already got the counters versus this Lifestealer. When Scotty's done, it's Matu can never fight him again. It feels like he can't anyway at this point, as Secret just fully on the back foot.
See, Liquid, they want to make the move for Matu, but Matu's already out of this half of the map. They're pinging the camps, but he's played it safe, gone for the TP out.
Scanning.
Now the Lotus Orb is done too. Another method to protect his Storm Spirit or himself. So, I mean, Koikva already, like we said, having this flawless game. Now the only disable that he really has to worry about can just get dispelled by a Lotus from his teammate as well. Besides just that Fortune's End that was coming out from Insania. And Secret have to just handhold. They're just like playing all around Matu, kind of hand-holding each other because they know if they split up at all, the pickoff's just too high there from Liquid.
Trying to set up on Boxy mid. Oh, he ruptured himself though. Boxy instantly out with the Lotus Orb upon himself. Insania's heading over to provide extra safety, and Boxy is going to be kept alive by the false promise. Secret is struggling to get any further in, and they know they've got to be careful because Koikva comes in with a counterplay onto Puppey. Puppey goes down. Found the Undying, buyback straight away from Puppey here. Just in case Liquid do try and chase more. Nisha, he's going to Remnant in. He's going to Remnant in incredibly aggressively. He's been clumsy at it. He'll use the York, but Tiger has got a fish already on the way down. And Nisha, he's been gone upon. As they're straight away on top of them with Koikva. The Infest heal does save Nisha. So Matu able to keep Nisha alive in this event. He's still backing off. But Mickey and Boxy, they're chasing. They're onto the Timberman. Matu's rage has come to an end. Koikva zips in. Matu, he's going to pop the armlet. Will keep him alive as he toggles away with the rage, but they're surrounded. They've got this just massive Spectre in onto Matu. Boxy Newton down with a whirling death. Matu's dead for 50. Poppy just getting torn apart underneath the tower as there's 3 dead on Secret, and it just seems like they've lost it. They're calling it. They're calling. They have lost it completely as Liquid have broken them. They have broken them. It might have started yet the other day against Mud Golems. Secret getting knocked down, and then Liquid here in the lower bracket. Game 1, they pull out the classic Liquid special of Chaos and Magic, and it works. And then Game 2, they just toss Secret aside. They did. The Secret they just look broken completely. The early GG just goes to show it. Secret, they had no clue what to do. Liquid just destroyed them.
Liquid just full out broke them. The movements this game were just perfect. They out 5-man Secret in the early game with a pretty greedy draft and just make it work perfectly. Koikva pops off, Boxy pops off, and it just looks like such a good play from all of Team Liquid. Such good preparation.
And just both of these series were seen against Secret, and this one in particular, this second game from Liquid to push Secret out of it. I mean, this is, we're going to have to see at future tournaments how sort of Secret stand against this test. You know, it's all well and good when you're just winning everything, but when the losses start to come in, maybe that's when things will begin to break apart a little bit. As already in this series, Liquid able to find already the cracks that were appearing in Secret's armor, and they just blow them open. This game 2, Secret looking lost, and Liquid, it's just another win in the books for them. Both the Spec